Most people trying to lose weight on a plant-based diet simply focus on what to avoid. I've actually found, though, weight loss becomes drastically easier when you focus on building meals around the right foods instead. And so in this video, I want to share with you 10 of my personal favorite weight loss foods under the plant-based umbrella that make weight loss so much easier because you can keep those calories under control whilst at the same time still staying full, happy, and satisfied, and still finding some enjoyment in your diet as well. You've got to enjoy it or it won't be sustainable. And stay tuned, of course, because number 10 spot, whilst the rest of this list is in no particular order, and we're just going to rapid fire through it, number 10 spot deserves a special mention. This is my personal favorite food when it comes to slimming down. I'll do the big reveal towards the end. It's like that film, Seven. What's in the box, Jack? But hopefully way less gruesome. Plant-based weight loss food number 1, rolled oats. Notice how that's oddly specific. I'm not here talking about quick or steel-cut oats, instant oatmeal, even though I like, frankly, all forms of oats, and they're all part of my diet on a pretty regular basis. Rolled oats take the number 1 spot for me because the volume to calorie ratio is superior to the other forms of oats, so you can get more bang for buck in terms of the bulk, the volume factor per calorie. So I like those, but frankly, you'll notice hopefully any dish, any oatmeal-based dish, does hit the spot and it allows you to stay full, happy, and satisfied for a while given all of that fiber content. Rolled oats in particular, like steel-cut oats, very slow digesting as well. So the goal when we have oatmeal, especially in the morning, is, yeah, I get a good run of 3 to 4 hours where I don't really think about food all that much after. Number 2, any kind of sweet apple. Again, oddly specific, but give me a gala apple, and yes, I enjoy it. I'm full, happy, pretty satisfied. It's a nice top up before the next meal. Yes, good snack option. Fiber content, volume, water content. Give me a pink lady apple though, with that touch of sweetness versus a standard gala apple. And I have an outlet for that sweet tooth. And I have a real enjoyment of that. And a lot of people say, oh, you're playing with fire to prioritize the sweet apple. Doesn't that make you want more, more, more? No, not really. No, if I frame it correctly as this is just my snack, it's just a small snack allowance to hold me over to the next meal. No, brilliant. And to have that outlet for sweet, when I have a finite amount of calories every single day, as is the goal with weight loss, of course, it just feels amazing. It feels like a little, it's not chocolate, it's not ice cream, I appreciate. It's just a little treat. So that pink lady apple pips the gala apple. And so for me, any kind of sweet apple, number 2 on our list. Number 3, red kidney beans. Yes, again, really, really specific. And generally, I love the whole bean category. Amazing fiber content. They keep you full for hours and hours and hours. Loads of other good nutrients as well, but we're just primarily talking about weight loss right now. Low calorie density. Red kidney beans, though, have one of the lowest calorie density of the whole bean category, so that's why they get special mention here. And you know what it is about red kidney beans? They're pretty unimpressive. They're pretty unimpressive, and therefore they're not that moreish. They're not that insatiable like perhaps chickpeas, I would argue, or black beans, which they're kind of the bean favorites, aren't they? Chickpeas have a higher caloric density, much higher caloric density than red kidney beans too. And I don't know, if I put a little bit of ketchup on black beans, I can just go, go, go. And I am really satisfied, but I can just go, go, go. Red kidney beans, they're so bland and boring, and even if you season them well, it only sticks on the surface, and then you get through into that slightly mushier texture, which I don't always like with red kidney beans. So their blandness and their boringness is actually why they make the cut ahead of the other beans. Red kidney beans I love for weight loss. Plant-based weight loss food number 4 is berries. Of course, if you've been following me for some time, you knew this was going to make the cut at some point. Generally speaking, again, I'm being so specific here. I'm being really pedantic and picky with my choices because I love the whole fresh fruit category. I've already spoken about apples. But berries, some of the lowest calorie density fruits you will find. In other words, again, volume per calorie, really advantageous. I could even go a layer deeper and maybe prioritize here strawberries and raspberries for their calorie density, even versus blueberries. Blueberries are amazing. Great nutrient profile. I eat blueberries virtually every day. But strawberries, for example, destroy blueberries for the amount of volume they provide per calorie. So again, if we're simply playing a volume, like how can I eat the greatest portion possible per calorie, this is where strawberries are absolutely incredible. Only problem with strawberries, they're like 90% water content. So they're just through your digestive system like this. So they leave you feeling really full. This is a bit of a word of warning about them. If you have a snack, a good bowl of strawberries, yeah, you've kept the calories calories low, they leave you really full in the moment. 30 minutes later, you're chomping at the bit like, what can I have next? But again, the framing around this is important. That's not a downside of strawberries so much as I just have to appreciate, like, I need a substantive meal at some point in the next couple of hours because these strawberries aren't really going to hold me for that long. So it's a bit of expectation management. Love the berries. Number 5 is mushrooms. Unbelievable calorie to volume ratio once again. If you do, not everyone is a fan, but if you do like mushrooms, you also know how versatile they are. You can just throw 100, 200 grams of mushrooms into various things, really bulk it up nicely, and totally change actually the texture of a meal, which I think is important and why I single it out amongst the other non-starchy veg. Again, love non-starchy veg as a category. Volume foods, throw them into meals. You add all this bulk, all this volume, lots of fiber as well, for very few calories. But mushrooms get the special mention here. But they're just unique in texture and taste, and so I feel like they're a great game changer taste-wise to a meal. And all of this stuff, if it just increases, if adding mushrooms to a meal and having that slightly different taste in amongst all the other ingredients just makes a meal 10, 15% more enjoyable. This stuff cannot be overlooked as a trivial thing in a calorie deficit when you've only got a finite amount of food every day. It's so important that you actually enjoy it. Mushrooms, they're just different, aren't they, to the other veg? Speaking of veg, leafy greens come at number 6. No, they're not super tasty, and some people have a hard time with things like kale. I love it, but rocket as well, arugula, some people detest. I love the stuff. But, you know, spinach, watercress, even a lettuce, like bulking up your salads with a bunch of lettuce. This stuff has next to no, I can't say 0, but next to no calories. Like, realistically, it's so impossible to overeat on this stuff. So just throw it into, and do you know what? I detest the fact that this video is so weight loss focused that I keep talking about like calories, fiber, volume, not to mention the amazing nutrient profile of these leafy greens. That's not the point of this video, so I'm not going to ham it too much, but leafy green is just amazing for you. Forget the scale for a second. This stuff is nutrient packed. Plant-based weight loss food number 7. This one is really overlooked. It's buckwheat. Now, you'll notice I've actually only got 2 whole grains on this entire list. Spoiler, there isn't any more coming. If you remember, number 1, we talked about rolled oats. The fact that buckwheat makes the cut alongside rolled oats should show you the esteem which I hold it. I do like, don't get me wrong, quinoa and rice and millet and barley. Love them. Buckwheat though, again, volume to calorie ratio. I know I keep talking about that metric, but it is important. It's not everything when it comes to staying satisfied, but it is important. So buckwheat really advantageous in the whole grain category for maxing volume for very few calories. It's just not like popular, cool, or widely available. It's not as nutrient packed as maybe something like quinoa, for example. So it's not kind of hot right now. It's not a hot trend, but like the buckwheat. Number 8, I've got a big grin on my face because I know there's a bunch of people watching this, like knowing this one is gonna drop at some point, and I've like strung them along, teased them out for 10 minutes now without mentioning it. Yeah, of course white potatoes. Of course white potatoes make the cut. I like sweet potato, but it's so sweet. And there's a slight contradiction with my sweet apples point earlier on, but sweet potato, it's so sweet to me that I could just go. That lovely sweet flesh of the sweet potato. Whereas white potatoes, they don't do that for me. Like the satisfaction I get from white potato is incredible. And I've talked extensively on this channel about how actually, if I eat too many white potatoes as one of my primary carbohydrate sources, I actually start feeling quite skinny. I actually feel to a point where I think it's too far gone. So I actually don't even eat that many white potatoes. You'll see it, you've seen it in my videos. I don't eat that much white potato anymore. It's too much of a flight risk for me. I'm stuffed. I've got a big old appetite and I am stuffed with white potato comparatively versus other carbohydrate sources. But number 9, coming in number 9, canned lentils. Again, oddly specific, isn't it? Canned lentils over dried lentils. Why? Because with dried lentils, especially red dried lentils, which I do in my lentil dal, it's one of my favorite dishes to this day. I've been eating this for 10, 11 years. Love this. Since the start of going plant-based, I've been eating this on the regular. It's a great weight loss meal, my simple red lentil dal, but I have to say something about that spice-infused lentil dal. I could just go. I do have to be careful with the portion sizes because I'll make that batch. And so I do have to be, no, this is your serving, Ryan. No negotiation, no bargaining. Canned lentils, especially canned brown green lentils, it's not the same. It's not the same. They just last me longer. They hit the spot longer. They're not as, again, moreish to me. And yeah, they're not as hyper palatable, let's say. And so Again, fiber content, like the whole legume category, fiber content is incredible here, but special shout out to the canned lentils. Number 10, what do we think? It's the cuke. Of course, it's the cucumber. Anyone that follows me on Instagram knows probably, actually. I think this one was coming, but I don't talk about this one on YouTube often. Cucumber, really high water content, but it's actually slower digesting given all that fibrous skin than maybe something like berries, which I spoke about earlier on, that just digest like that. If I ever have an emergency hunger situation, it's late at night, and actually I've used all of my daily calorie / meal allowance, cucumber is a really low risk safe bet from me because I can just crack open a whole cucumber, slice it up and just munch on that. And of course, you've no doubt you've heard of Ryan's famous cucumber churros. I can't say that I invented this, but I'm claiming it as mine, which, like, some people, they just think this is nuts to call it a churro, the audacity. Honestly, try it before you knock it. Take a cucumber, sprinkle on a little bit of cinnamon, sprinkle on some stevia. It's a churro! It's a low-calorie, weight-loss-friendly churro. But, you know, whether you do the churros or you just eat it like this, or you sprinkle on, again, a little bit of salt, just the cinnamon itself, maybe you don't need the sweetness of the stevia there. This is just, yeah, a really low-risk filler food. And you can obviously chop it up, throw it into salads, lots of dishes as well. Often the Slim and Sustain Big Bowl, I just chop up cucumber. It's so easy, throw it into the Slim and Sustain Big Bowls. But actually, primarily, I just use cucumber as a late-night snack sometimes, a couple of times a week, and just really hits the spot nicely. So that's why it's number 1 on our list. Again, it's not substantial. This is not something, I'm not gonna eat this right now as a meal, for example. It's not gonna fill you up. It's gonna fill you up, but it's not gonna satisfy you for hours and hours and hours because it's such high, over 90% water content, such high water content. But this is a hack as a little top up between meals or at the end of the day to just really signal to your brain, you're full now, you're stuffed, that's it, we're done eating. Key takeaway here then, weight loss becomes much easier when you build meals around foods that are filling, high fiber, and reasonably calorie controlled. And very importantly as well, you actually enjoy them. There might be foods on this list you don't enjoy, even though they check other boxes. Don't force them into your diet for no reason. It's really important, again, with the finite amount of calories concept, that you're spending, to give some kind of metaphor for it, spending those calories really wisely. Don't force foods. Don't force feed foods you don't enjoy. Quite obvious, but again, people don't do this because, oh, I'm so desperate to lose weight, just tell me what the best foods for fat loss are, and then I'll build diet around that. No, you also need to think about what you'll actually enjoy, what you're likely to adhere to. And that's exactly the philosophy we have inside Slim and Sustain. So if you'd like to lose 4 to 8 pounds per month while still feeling satisfied and truly enjoying your diet, so you can actually feel in control whilst losing weight instead of one chocolate bar away from the next binge and rebound, you can fill out an application. I'll put the link down below to learn more about working with me one-on-one inside Slim and Sustain. See you in the next video.